Something cool here with Jay from They Will Be Done. How you doing, man?
Doing very well. How are you, brother?
Good, good.
Awesome.
Now, it's been a pretty big year for you guys so far. I know you guys just released an EP last year.
Yes, sir.
And then Metallica actually handpicked you to be part of the Orion Fest. That must have been an amazing feeling.
Absolutely surreal. Absolutely surreal.
And it's been a big push ever since. I know you've been doing a lot of touring. I mean, you're with Trivium and Devil Driver right now.
Yeah.
And after this wraps up, I guess you're going to go back and put out the full.
Yeah, the next full length will be coming out. We're hoping right now, projecting for like late spring, early summer next year. We really don't have a concrete date just yet, but we wrap up this tour, and then we have a couple of one-off shows when we get back, and then just go right back to the studio and just finish, working on the next full length. We're pretty excited about it, actually.
It's got to be real cool.
Yeah.
And I understand you guys do some stuff with Sirius Radio. Is that right?
Yeah, we had the last record that came out was In Ancient Days in 2009. We had toured in 2009, 2010. We had some successful songs hit their like most requested list, and people calling in, phoning in, or whatever. And so then that kind of started this cool little thing, with like satellite radio. And then we had it in our vehicle. We travel, always listen to Sirius XM, and Jose Mangan's huge supporter of ours, and just a great guy, and we're fortunate to have him as a friend too. Now we've gotten to know him better, and we're bros. And we had a hit single off of the Temple EP, went all the way to #1 actually.
Wow.
Which was kind of cool, man. And so it's been rad. And we had a second song off the EP actually start charting as well too. So it's been pretty rad.
It's real cool. Now, one thing that you got to appreciate now, like you saying you're doing the work with Sirius and things like that, is years ago the bands didn't have that outlet. Maybe they had Headbangers Ball.
Right.
But radio play was really scarce. Like maybe late at night or like Sunday they might do the hard show.
Right.
Things like that. But now it's everywhere. You got Sirius, you got YouTube.
Oh my gosh.
All that. It's got to be a good feeling to come into something like that at the time that you guys are coming into it.
Definitely. I mean, a lot of people will, complain and feel like, oh, there's way too many bands or the industry's not the same. Well, no, nothing's the same. The only constant is change, so you have to adapt.
Right.
And right now, I mean, it's great to have things like Liquid Metal, like an entire channel dedicated to aggressive music, and like you said, with YouTube, you can go on, you can check out records that were released in the 60s, the 70s, or whatever, and you can stream the whole thing. And and it comes down to like who's getting paid, who's getting the royalties, but I think right now we're at a point where people are exposed to so much music, that growing up it took a lot longer to discover a band, or it took a lot longer to realize the roots of where a band came from. Now, I mean, hopefully people are using that to their advantage and actually learning and understanding where some of these bands are coming from.
Right. Now, we touched on it briefly about you guys playing at the Orion Festival.
Yeah.
Now, how did Metallica actually get in contact with you? I mean, how did that all come about?
Their company contacted our booking. How it all came about, funny, goes back to satellite radio, is we are being played on satellite radio, and Jose is actually the music director on Liquid Metal, and Metallica were going to be putting together this Orion Festival, unbeknownst to any of us.
Right.
And they had made the announcement about the initial lineup, and I, as a fan, I was excited. I was like, that's great. If any band could have their own festival, it's Metallica. So, what had happened was James Hetfield had personally reached out to Jose and asked him, he's like, hey, I've heard some of these bands, whatever, like, give me a list of some of these bands that you're playing. Jose fired off a list, and out of all the bands that Jose had presented him with, he picked 3 bands that he had listened to, that he liked, and we were one of them, and we were invited to play.
Wow.
So, handpicked by James Hetfield.
That's
What?
Yeah.
Like, mind blown, man. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
I'm a Metallica fan through and through, so like that just, man.
To have them actually be a fan of yours,
Right? Like, just mind blown. Like, if you had told me that when I was 10, I would have laughed in your face, but like, yeah, right. But pretty rad,
Yeah, very cool. Now, for those that want to find out more about you, they want to get the EP, what's the best route to?
Well, I mean, if they want to keep in touch, I mean, everybody's got the social sites, We got our websites, or you can go to facebook.com/ThyWillBeDone. We're on Twitter @TWBD. I run all the social media stuff. We don't have like a person sitting there running it. I take care of all of that. So when people reach out and they get a message back, it's from me. I try and keep up with a lot of the messages in the mail, and it's I think I do a pretty decent job keeping up with it, and
cool.
sometimes it's tough, when you're on the road and you get a lot going on.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, Facebook.com/thatwillbedone, Twitter @TWBD, or you can go to you can just Google it and you'll find us somewhere.
And then they'll figure out all the updates, the new release, and then I'm assuming once next year comes about, there's going to be a lot more touring for you guys.
Yeah, there'll be a lot more press too surrounding that, and just definitely keep tabs on all our pages. We'll have announcements we'll be making after the turn of the year, but just buttoning up the next full length, and I think people will be excited about it too.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
All right, I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.